Mayoral 2016 Ballot Breakdown. We are coming to you live from the beautiful Lochland Country Club in Hastings as we get ready to hear from the two candidates hoping to be the next mayor of Hastings. We'll also hear from the candidates running for Hastings School Board as well as Adams Central. We are broadcasting live on NTV News and KHAS Radio. I'm Colleen Williams from NTV News, and I'll be moderating tonight's event. NTV is honored to partner with Lochland Country Club, Hastings Young Professionals, Hastings Tribune, and KHAS Radio. For our viewers at home, we have a quick programming note. This broadcast will break away for commercial breaks while the debate continues here at Lochland. You can go to nebraska.tv for a live stream of the entire debate or tune in to KHAS Radio as well. In May, we welcomed 5 candidates for mayor, and tonight we are down to the final 2. Please join me in welcoming Councilwoman and Council President Kathy Duval. Along with businessman and Hastings Public School Board member Corey Stutte. The debate will run as follows. Each candidate is allowed 90 seconds for an opening statement. After that, questions from our panel will be directed to both candidates. A 1-minute time limit has been placed on each question. Time cues will be provided at 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and if you see this sign, it's a big stop sign, stop talking. After each candidate has answered the question, we will provide an opportunity for a 30-second follow-up if you think that you need to do that. Debate organizers have randomly chosen the order of the candidates and will rotate who gets a question first. During this debate, the audience may contribute questions. Each person should have an index card, or there are some available over there. You can print your name also and then sign it to validate your question, and we'll pick those up right about 7 o'clock. While our panel is asking questions directed to both candidates, the audience may direct a question to a specific candidate. Let's meet our panelists. From the Hastings Tribune, government reporter Tony Herman. KHAS Radio News Director Brandon Peoples. NTV's first web broadcast, carried solely in Spanish, Carmen Montes. Again, I'd like to thank you all for coming and being a part of this important night as we look towards the future of Hastings. We begin tonight with opening statements, and we flipped a coin, and the winner, or you correctly picked, was Kathy. So you can go first with your opening statement. You have 90 seconds.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad to be here at this forum and the opportunity to discuss the issues tonight. I'm getting a little bit of feedback here. Exciting things are happening in Hastings, and we have much to be proud of. Our quality of life is continuing, and our quality of life will continue to improve. And there's different ways that we can do this. And it will improve because I can bring experience, and I can bring the time. And I'm at a point in my career where I can devote myself full-time to this office. I can give Hastings the leadership it deserves. I have the passion to follow through on current initiatives and begin new ones for Hastings' growth. I have the knowledge, I have the skills, I have the background to effectively lead the council. Half the council will be brand new members, and they will need my experience and my time as they begin their work. I have established working relationships, which means I can begin to work effectively on day one. There is no learning curve for me. I've proven and I have trusted leadership. You've worked with me, you've seen me, you've watched me as I've led the council and worked on different organizations. You know the kind of leadership that I can provide. I have the understanding that all of our citizens are to be valued and heard, and I can make that a reality. And I have a vision that we will be a greener, sustainable community for our children and our grandchildren. I can make that a reality. It is my hope to lead Hastings together as we go into the future to be a more welcoming, strong, vibrant community one that we're proud to call our home.
Thank you, Kathy. And now Corey.
I'm a sixth-generation Nebraskan and a Hastings Public School alumni. 16 years ago, I left Hastings to go to the University of Central Florida to start my bachelor's degree. After that, I went on to get my master's in international relations from Troy University. And finally, I went back to the University of Central Florida for my PhD in public affairs. My PhD in public affairs was really about public administration and policy, which is just government. While I was there, I co-authored a book chapter on public-private partnerships, and I also worked for the Florida Benchmarking Consortium, where we helped to measure performance of about 60 local governments in Florida. After that, I was hired by the Polk County Board of County Commissioners as a land development planner, where I really learned about customer service at the height of the housing boom. At the same time, I was commissioned into the Navy as an intelligence officer, where I ended up serving at U.S. Special Operations Command in Tampa, and eventually at U.S. Pacific Command out in Hawaii. After a couple of years in Hawaii, my wife Laura and I decided to move back to Nebraska to start my company, Strategic Pioneer. After being back for a few years, it's apparent to me that we're at a crossroads here in Hastings. One road would be more of the same, and the other road would be fresh ideas with a more open and customer service-focused government. I think from talking to people out there, people are ready for a little bit of a different direction, and I'm the one that can lead that because I have the experience to do so. That's why I'm asking for your vote on November 8th to move Hastings forward and to help make it the best metropolitan city on the Great Plains. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Corey. I will ask if we can hold applause until the very end. Now, our first question goes to Kathy Duval from Tony Herman, Hastings Tribune political reporter.
What does it mean for Hastings that the city block project in its current iteration has failed?
Well, I had voted, as did all my other fellow council members, voted
For the city block project. I felt that it was a project that would make this city even more vibrant. The downtown is a place that we all want to go visit. It is a destination point, and this would have been an exciting place for us to go. It would have provided housing, it would have provided hotel rooms that are needed, it would have provided a convention center, which we also need to have in this community. So I'm sorry to see that project not go forward. That does not mean that new projects will not be coming. That does not mean that when I am mayor and when the council can work together, we will look at these new projects, find the ones that can best suit Hastings. We will get that information out to the community in a timely manner. We will be sure to bring the community in so they can provide the information that we need when we work with the developer.
Well, obviously, it's a very disappointing development for the city of Hastings. If you look at it from the $20 million private investment perspective, I've always been for that private investment, but I've been saying for a long time that we should have been out there ahead of things about 2 or 3 years ago and just talking about concepts of the project. It's been out there, and I think a lot of people knew about it, but there's a lot of confusion about what it might be. I'm an expert on public-private partnerships. I've co-authored a book chapter on it. I'm happy to send it to anyone that has any questions, but some of the key factors of public-private partnerships we failed to meet. One of those being that we need some political leadership and accountability. The other being really involving the community stakeholders. So, unfortunately, this project failed. I think there's going to be a great potential for future projects, and I look forward to doing that. We need to stop pointing fingers at each other and kind of stop this adversarial nature. Let's come together as a community and do some great things. I'm hopeful for another project.
Our next question comes from Carmen Montez. This one starts with Corey.
There have been 2 high-profile petitions here in Hastings, one concerning 9th Street and the other city block project that you just mentioned. How would these petition drives affect how you and how the council makes decisions moving forward?
I think the biggest thing we need to do is we need to learn from our mistakes. We could have seen the city block project issue coming down the lane at us, I think. If we would have learned from 9th Street and learned that we maybe need to get out and communicate with the public a little bit more effectively early in the process, I think maybe things would have turned out a little bit differently. So we need to learn from our mistakes. We need to move forward and start communicating to the public, bringing them to the table, asking questions, and asking how can we help make their lives better. So, I think I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because we have a great opportunity to move forward together, bring people to the table, rebuild some of the trust that's maybe been lost over the past couple of projects. And, I'm confident that we can do that.
Kathy?
Could you repeat that question?
Sure. There have been 2 high-profile petitions here in Hastings, one of them being the 9th Street closure and also the other city block project, how would the petition drives affect how you and the council makes the decisions moving forward?
Well, the petition drives made a difference for us. We needed to look at what the citizens want, what the majority of the citizens want. It is absolutely the right of our citizens to gather the petitions that they feel the need and to come and put that on a referendum. There is no doubt about that. We are a democracy. We're also a republic. And we do have a representative government. And it's a balance between the two. And in those two cases, the citizens felt they needed to have some more input. Absolutely vital. We need to be sure in the future to gather those voices early, bring them to the table, share whatever pieces of information that we're allowed to share. Some information we can't. As you know, there were negotiations going on and they had to be kept private. But there were other pieces that we could have shared earlier. Next time we will. We can do that when we learn. And we've learned to do that.
Kathy, this round starts with you. Here's KHAS Radio News Director, Brandon Peoples.
How should the relationship between the mayor and council and the Hastings Board of Public Works change?
That's a good question. The Novak report came out over a year ago, and one of the major recommendations they had in the report was to look at Hastings Utilities. Is Hastings Utilities functioning as a department, or does Hastings Utilities function as a parallel entity to the city? There are incidents of both, and we do not have a clear delineation at this point, and that is what the Novak report came up with. However, that being said, you must also know that we have a Board of Public Works, and we have an oversight committee, a board of dedicated, hardworking, smart, knowledgeable people. I am hoping to address the Novak report immediately, look at how we restructure. If there is a need to restructure, that needs to be determined. That needs to be done with individuals from the utilities company as well as individuals from the city council working together. It's got to be a top priority. It's got to be addressed immediately.
I would agree. It has to be addressed immediately. It's been sitting on the shelf now for about a year. Public utilities are much different than actually running a city. Utility boards have to look at things such as nitrates in the water, uranium in the water, and then also the budget. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to work with the new council. There are going to be 4 new members that come on to better understand where their positions are on this. Once they come on and once we can start talking about this, I think we can start to figure out whether or not we're going to keep the Board of Public Works as it is or move it to an advisory board. That being said, I think that there is a lot of room for efficiencies out there. Whether we're talking about IT or HR or fleet or maintenance, there is so much room for efficiency. So one way or another, we're going to have to figure out how to move forward with that. We're going to have to do it quickly. And once we move forward, let's put this behind us and start doing some other great things as a community.
Kathy, would you like a follow-up?
Yes, I would. Absolutely. The Novak report was designed, and the recommendations made were for efficiency. And we have already done some of the things that Mr. Stutte is talking about. We have already combined services. We have already sharing staff. We can do better on that. We have IT that we're sharing our human relations department. We've already done. So those things he has mentioned, yes, absolutely. We are already doing that. Is there more that can be done? You bet. And that's what we will be working on. So as mayor, when I can meet with the council, get them up to speed as well with all the information they need to also be meeting with utility folks, and then we'll be able to move from there.
I think one of the central things that we can really bring together when we talk about utilities in the city is IT. We need to come up with a centralized IT strategy or technology strategy where we're able to work together, we're able to have consistent systems out there, we're able to share data more effectively. So I think once we bring that together, it's going to help us track asset management issues, fleet and maintenance issues. So the sooner we can get out there and we can start working kind of on an IT strategy, I think we're going to be a lot better off between Hastings Utilities and the city.
Tony, your question begins with Corey.
How do you foresee handling the continued increasing healthcare costs for city employees?
This is a very important topic. In 2011, we had about a $3.5 million cash reserve. Right now, we're looking at about $1.6 million cash reserve. So in about 5 years, we've lost quite a bit of value out of that cash reserve. Just like any sort of company or any sort of entity, obviously this is a self-insured situation we have here, but we need to figure out how we can bring costs down. Most of the cost drivers right now for the city health insurance is really focused on medications and procedures. So how can we help our employees make more efficient decisions as consumers to go out there and maybe look and see where the cheapest alternatives are? Maybe we don't need brand name prescriptions. Maybe we don't necessarily need to go to our local doctor or hospital. Let's shop around and let's be efficient consumers with our money. I think that we've got a great opportunity to do that, but it is a big concern. As I just said, that cash reserve has gone down so much over the past 5 years that we really need to keep our eye on it, and we need to make sure that we're making decisions quickly.
Kathy.
At a local level, health insurance is a concern. Medical costs are a concern as they are at a national level. We are a self-insured entity as the city, and that's always worked well in the past. We've had, most of our employees have been helping their children and their